All right, pharmacy technicians in Kentucky can be certified or non-certified. If you're non-certified, you don't need to do CE. Non-certified must be under the immediate supervision of the pharmacist. Certified or just under the general supervision, but they can both perform non-judgmental duties. Certified techs can certify med-carts, initiate or receive refill authorizations if there's no change in the prescription, and receive diagnostic orders in a nuclear pharmacy. In Kentucky, there is no pharmacist-technician ratio. All techs must register with the Board of Pharmacy, and the registration date is March 31st of each year. For board-approved protocols, these are duties the pharmacist can perform. These include acute flu infection and antiviral chemoprophylaxis, opioid use disorder, dispensing allergic rhinitis therapies, diabetes, acute group A strep pharyngitis testing, TB testing, anaphylaxis treatment, travel health, and tobacco cessation. Pharmacy permit is renewed yearly on June 30th. So the pharmacist license is February 28th. The tech license is March 31st, and the pharmacy permit is June 30th. All pharmacies are required to have certain reference materials. This includes pharmacology, drug interactions, drug product composition, and the laws and regs. They can be on the computer but not accessed online. So if your internet goes down, you still need to be able to access this information. Pharmacies must also have certain equipment. This includes a Class A balance, a weight set, graduates from 1 to 250 milliliters, mortars and pestles, glass, porcelain, or wedgewood, spatulas, both steel and non-metallic, a refrigerator, ointment slabs and papers, a heating unit, filtration funnel with filter papers, a sink with hot and cold running water. A common database is info shared between pharmacies for the purpose of dispensing prescriptions on patient care. For a common database to occur between pharmacies, the pharmacies must have common ownership. All pharmacists and techs must be able to access it. They must have a written policy and procedure manual, and the use of a common database does not constitute a transfer. So that does not go into controlled substance transfers. You can just fill it like it's at your store. For out-of-state businesses doing business in Kentucky, these pharmacies must have a Kentucky permit to operate. You can get a waiver if the number of prescriptions sent to Kentucky is minimal. They have to comply with all authorized requests for info, maintain readily retrievable records, and provide a toll-free phone number available during normal business hours. They also have to have a PIC. But out-of-state pharmacies doing business in Kentucky must have that Kentucky permit. Now, for pharmacy closures. First of all, if you have a permanent closure, you must give 30-day notice prior to closure and leave it in place for 30 days after. You must have a sign saying where the prescriptions were transferred, unless it was within a 5-mile radius. All signs pertaining to pharmacy must be removed. You must notify the board, DEA, and Cabinet for Health and Family Services within 15 days of closure. And you must maintain records for 2 years after closure. A few different types of closures. The first is an involuntary closure. This is when the pharmacy does not desire to close permanently. But if it does not open within 60 days, the Board of Pharmacy will close the pharmacy and seize all drugs. So if a pharmacy is not open for 60 days, they lose all of their medications to the Board of Pharmacy. So the involuntary closure is when you have an interruption of formal business activity due to acute illness, death, natural disaster, bankruptcy, or a court or board action. They must notify the board within 5 days. And again, the Board of Pharmacy may seize drugs if there's no sale made within 60 days. In cases of a voluntary closure, there's closing or abandonment of the business from chronic illness, or if there's a deviation from posted hours over 5 consecutive days. So if the hours are different from what's posted over 5 consecutive days, this constitutes a voluntary closure. Or if there's any reason that it is not permanent or involuntary. Upon closing a pharmacy, the permit must be returned to the Board of Pharmacy. In cases of a temporary closure, that's basically the pharmacy has to be closed if there's no pharmacist present. Employees may not enter or conduct any business. All files and drugs and prescriptions must be secured, and prescriptions can be deposited into the pharmacy if it's in a secure box, like through a drop chute. If the pharmacy is closed and the rest of the store is open, there must be a floor-to-ceiling partition that is locked and closed.